leaders create legacy of impact and income through the channel of entrepreneurship and do more good in the world. You will get access to all our amazing speakers today and walk away with great wisdom and inspiration so that you can level up yourself and your business to the next level.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another event. I'm so excited to be back with you. Another event here at the Purpose Driven Entrepreneurs Roundtable Summit at the Life School. I'm so excited to be back with you. I have another amazing lineup of amazing speakers and experts in their fields and all the work that they do in the world and the impact they get to create. So I'm so grateful to share a lot of those messages with you today, and so grateful to be back with another amazing summit where my hope for each summit is always to give you inspiration, but also education and implementation pieces, nuggets, whatever you like to call it, so that you can walk away with really great wisdom and information. And this way we get to serve not only through the information that is shared, but also through all the amazing connections and conversations that will stem from each of the events. Usually each event has its own energy and rhythm and flow, and it's always when people speak from the heart, as our speakers are speaking from the heart, you always get to get that final message to come through, and the right message and authenticity really shines through. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you to all the new audiences that are joining us today. So grateful to have everybody back here. And before I actually start the summit and invite all my amazing speakers onto our virtual stage, I'd love to introduce you actually to our community. So here at the Life School, we have purpose-driven leaders to build a legacy company that does good in the world through the operations of branding, marketing, sales, systems, and teams. Our vision is to empower purpose-driven business leaders to use their life's purpose through legacy entrepreneurship. And then our mission is to become the most impactful global community in purposeful entrepreneurship and leadership. And then finally, our values are community, connection, service, and contribution. So thank you so much again. And without further ado, I'm going to be introducing and saying welcome to all our amazing speakers. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on, and I really value your time and expertise. I know you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here today to create the impact that you're about to create with your messages, with your work, and also with your authentic story. Every summit, it's like its own masterclass for me. I'm always taking notes. So without further ado, I'm going to start with my first guest speaker today, Cara James. Cara, thank you so much for coming on. It's lovely to have you here. And I would love to start off with, usually my first question is if you could share some of the most meaningful moments that led you to the journey and the work that you're doing today.
Yes. Hi, Elona. Thank you so much for having me, and welcome. I love being here with all of you as well. Many of you look familiar, and it's a thrill to be here. So my journey started as far as the coaching back in 2018, and it was a life-changing moment, life-threatening, I should say, that got me into the coaching world. But since then, as far as meaningful, I have so many meaningful moments. I'm also an advisor with the Strategic Advisor Board. I have my own company pursuant to my business coaching. But that advisory role really opened up doors as far as just networking and really realizing how important chatting with people. Today I have 9 calls. Now I don't do this every day, but I just love, and if I haven't met you personally, please hop on my calendar. I love, getting to know others and what they're up to, and sharing their business. So as I've built my network, it's pretty hefty now, just by doing that and opening up and being me, as goofy as I can be. So if you like it, great. If you don't, then you're not following, and that's okay too, right? We want our perfect people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that introduction, Cara. But yeah, it's I love that you have invested time and effort into your relationships, and even though you're fully booked for the day, it's probably work that you love doing daily, and it fulfills you. I think at the end of the day, when we do that kind of work, we run the risk of burnout, but on the reverse, I always say, because we just, can't stop. We are so fueled by our mission and our purpose that it's just like every day is like a new day. We're like a student, like a curious, person waking up on a new adventure daily. So, Tara, where do you mostly dedicate your time on the day to day? Like today that you have your nine things
Yeah.
on the agenda. I know we priorly talked before the event.
And
So
I
what
did want to say I'm not absolutely
okay,
crazy. This is not every day. I set aside 2 days a week to do that. I block off Fridays, but my other days are filled with client fulfillment and meetings. So that's
mhm.
pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it. But my favorite times are days like today, just meeting all of you and getting to know who's out there. And there's so many fascinating people. And it's not just client seeking. It really is not. It's all on a very friendship based level and for referring. And I always have somebody top of mind. Well, I know a person who can help you with that. So I like to call myself almost a connector. And I do have I have 2 Facebook groups, and one of them is influencers and affiliates that has like 300,000 people that we're just trying to constantly, match people up. And then my other one is coaches, consultants, and service provider success community, and everybody's welcome there too. Come on in, introduce yourself, share what you do. So no such thing as competition, right? We're all here to help each other. So.
Absolutely. So you're another people connector. So Kara, my natural question for you is how do we develop that skill? Is that something that we naturally discover accidentally along the way? Intentional skill that we build over time because we really value relationships and we understand how important those are as we learn to grow our businesses.
That's a great question because you hate to say that, I've always been very bubbly or personal and yeah, I don't want to say that, oh, it's within, right? That we can pull people in. And I know others that just do have a fabulous, successful business, but they don't want to be doing that. And that's fine. I think it's to each his own. So I love nothing more than great, I connected them, or this is perfect. Kim matches up with, Sally, and it's very rewarding at the end of the day.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's definitely something that's intentional, but also something that gives you a lot of joy and fulfillment
yeah,
as well. To be able to have people connect and collaborate and find ways to work together. And just the fact that you had a little bit to do with that in connecting
yeah,
people together,
oh
I
yeah,
think it's really cool for sure. Kara, on your day to day, you do business coaching. Is that what you said
that,
in the beginning of your introduction? What's your framework?
yeah.
Methodology. What's your spin to business coaching?
So, well, can I do a shameless plug? I have a book that's out that just came out, that just launched last week. It's the Coach's Blueprint: Strategies, Tips, and Secrets for Impactful Success. What I mainly focus on with the coaches are their offers. It's clarity and offers. I'm actually working with Mitchell Levy right now on getting a certification just in clarity. So that's huge. Of course, I think we all realize that we need to speak clearly as far as who we serve, and it needs to show on all of your channels. Um, with offers, and then again in the book, I go deep into the offers and all of that. Of course, that is your flow through your business. I start with the foundation. There are 8 pieces to your business foundation that I think that I know a lot of people don't have in place, or they jump into business and it's great. I did the same thing, and you're missing some concrete pieces. There are 8, and if one of them's off, it's like the broken link. So you need to have a very strong foundation, and then of course weaving through that, the flow are the offers, the free, low, mid, high, VIP, that create that consistent revenue for you. The free, of course, you're bringing in, you're growing your following. The low, for example, $27 workshop to just let people taste what you do. They can afford $27. There's different ways to go about this, by the way. I did start high, and then if they wouldn't take the high offer, it would be like, oh, okay, well, I can offer you a lower ticket. But I have now doing ascending and low to high, because you can really build your following quicker that way. And yeah.
I love that you focus on business models, and it's really, sometimes it's confusing whether like which offer is, from another market, which one do I do now, and all of that for a lot of entrepreneurs. I think a lot of, education, a good framework really helps, but it's really alongside the trust factor. How are we building trust with people that are coming alongside? So if we just simplify a few things, it's really the same thing, at the end of the day, because when we have new people, we do have to earn their trust, right? So I love that you kind of have that framework and scale for people to really understand and wrap their minds around. Well, you got me curious. What are they? Because I talk about fundamentals myself all the time. So what are those 8 bricks that we need to have in place so that we have a solid wall and foundation of our business?
Yeah. Okay. So first, we're going to go with client acquisition, and this is what we do. I learned this in the advisory board. I feel like I'm letting out secrets here, but I mean, there's no other way about it. This is what we do, what we focus on, and go through and do a deep dive. And I do this with my clients as well in my own business, not just the advisory board. But it's client acquisition, right? It's what's your sales process, and again, in the background, we have the whole other piece of the offers flowing through this foundation. Your customer onboarding, what does that look like? Is that seamless? Is that easy? Right from the get-go, they might be like, oh gosh, I didn't get anything. I don't even know what's next. They might have opted in and they don't know, it's not seamless. So that can throw things off. Customer support, what's that like? We all know we've dealt with companies, right? They have terrible customer support. And I'm not going to name one of the big ones that we all probably have owned or have the software that we've maybe had funnels through. If the customer support is bad, it's at least such a bad taste in your mouth, right? Fulfillment, referrals. Well, fulfillment, of course, is fulfilling on what you're offering. It's not just the products, it's also your services and making sure you show up and give your client the best. What else? Referrals. So asking for referrals once you have, gotten these folks the results that they desired, that we want to ask for referrals. And then the internal and external processes, right? You've got the internal and external. Like, what does this look like? What do you have a team in place? What's your software? What's your foundation based on? What do you offer? As far as there's other things, than your offers. Are you, one-to-one? Are you making extra phone calls? Are you, there's so many different pieces to it. So
yeah, I love that. But they're all very important, right? And sometimes people get information from all different aspects and different pieces, and they're trying to puzzle piece the business together. And sometimes, when you haven't implemented one thing, you're focusing on something else, it could just get so confusing. There's so many ways to build a business, but I love that you have put together in a framework, and here's, the process step by step that you need to eventually implement that will give you back ROI time and your profits, which are very important to growing and sustaining a business for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, just one super quick example of this. There was my son had worked for a company, and they had fabulous products. They were great. I don't want to bash the company, but their fulfillment was horrid, right? The customer service was lovely. The product was amazing, but they just couldn't get it to you in time. Or it would, they would botch up, it'd be 2 weeks late, or it would come with like half beaten up box. But what on earth? And it was kind of pricey. So that right there is a turnoff. But everything else about the company was great.
Absolutely. Tara, thank you so much for everything you just shared. And all
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I'm going to come back to you at the end for more. Thank you again for being our first champ, sharing your message and story with us today. Moving on to my next amazing guest speaker, Eduardo Beltran. I hope I said your last name correctly, Eduardo. Thank you so much for coming on, and looking forward to having you share some of the most meaningful moments that you really felt or feel led you to the work that you're doing on your day-to-day.
Thanks so much for having me, first of all. And you pronounced it just about right. People normally have more issues with the first one. So, yeah, one of the things is, before anything else, is I want to say that I appreciate everybody's time right now. For those who are here and watching, I want to acknowledge you. I know your time is precious, and I want to be able to maximize it and make the most I can to make sure that it's worth your time. So. I think in regards to one of the things that created the most impact in the journey of entrepreneurship was just the realization itself of that I didn't really choose to be an entrepreneur. It was something that happened, like life led me to that, and it was just like the logical thing that I had to do to be able to even keep myself sane and healthy. Um, I spent 10 years, approximately, a little bit more than 10 years, doing a lot of things for myself and thinking I don't want to show off and I don't want to come off as arrogant or whatever. So I was always trying to like keep it for myself. And that included living in different countries and traveling and learning languages, discovering the fact that you could open bank accounts in different countries as a foreigner, you can keep different currencies and you can, a lot of things. And I was always thinking like this is for myself, it's for myself, it's for myself. But I got to a point in a decade where I was, for the lack of a better word, constipated in experiences, and I felt like there was something that was missing, like there was a missing piece in this whole thing, and I eventually went through depression. I was actually in China, living by myself, working in a company there, and I was going through depression, and I was thinking like how does this all make sense? And so essentially that's when I realized that it's great that we as entrepreneurs, we want to learn and we want to grow, like we're focusing on growth, but we sometimes forget to think about how do we convey that, how to change it and turn it into contribution. Because the thing that I love the most about entrepreneurship is that we are the only people in the world that take ownership for other people's problems and actually create solutions for it. And so I don't know, that's why I love entrepreneurship. But just the fact that we understand that any single thing that we've lived, like whether it is pain that we've gone through or something amazing that we had the pleasure or the chance to live, how can we convey that, right? How can we change it and transmit that into other people so that we can actually have an impact, instead of just saying I did it for myself? Because if I die today, right, like, oh, I lived in 8 countries, or I learned whatever languages, or I did all these amazing things, which was really nice for myself. But if I die today, like I didn't leave anything behind that can have impact after I die, which for me, that is the definition of legacy.
Wow, there's so much we have so much in common, but I love it. Yeah, hence is why I also say entrepreneurship just like life. The more you gain wisdom and you live your life with the ups and the downs and all the journeys that we go through or challenges, the more we have a story to tell and we can connect to the people we want to help the most. And yeah, absolutely, it's our job description, problem solvers. Also, I think purpose-driven ones, exactly the ones that are led by their purpose. And of course, you have to be intentionally a profit. I am all about that as well. It's are the people that are absolutely spreading and multiplying, good things in the world with the work they're doing. So Eduardo, so what is the day-to-day work that you actually do? How do you help in this? What problem do you solve? I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah, I love the frame. So I mean, there's always been a lot of problems out there. Like I feel just business overall, it's interesting to me to hear that people say like there's a lack of opportunities, and my issue has always been focusing, and because there's an overwhelm of, I think there's 1,000 things that you could be doing and 1,000 ways that you could be providing value to the marketplace and to people. And for me, the one that I wanted to focus on right now was to be able to help authors, coaches, consultants, and public speakers to be able to develop a sales process online so that they can stop selling the one-time thing that they do, the service or the program, and give lifetime access for something that eventually runs out, and actually create a sustainable cash flow system where they can charge monthly and they can stop focusing on the short-term solutions transactional relationships and start focusing on transformational relationships. And so I help these people that, they already have a book, they already have a coaching program or consulting services, or even public speakers. They already have an event and they have a message to share. They already have, what they know that they have to be sharing with the world. But we just tweak that a little bit to make sure that it becomes part of people's lives. Like it integrates into what people are doing so that they can have long-term impact, instead of saying we're a quick fix, we're this, small solution, and then like off you go and good luck. And so more specifically, I have, a marketing agency. So I actually help people craft their offer as well, and then turn that into the entire sales process, like the landing pages, the order page, and the membership side as well, to help them create the membership, so that instead of being that one service, now it's like, how do we create an entire movement off of this, and create true impact long term, instead of just a one-off thing.
Yeah. I love that you also identify that is the problem you feel the most compelled to solve, because absolutely so true. We focus on so many problems and we can fix so many problems, but which one is the one that actually you are most compelled to solve and also qualify to be able to give results? I think at the end of the day, that's also something that matters. But I love you actually help with that. And I know we talked about business models with Kara as well. And I think it gives us a lot of freedom also to be able to do more of that, face-to-face or transformative work, because if we are creating all these other products and they're maybe giving us that income, then we have that consistency of profit that we can maybe utilize to free up some of our time to be able to put our, creatives into place, or kind of do work that is really meaningful for us. Because, I think at the end of the day, most people, unfortunately, choose a business model that might not necessarily align with them, but they kind of just have to, because obviously they think that's the only way to be able to meet their goals, or to be able to sustain the income that they need from the business. So the fact that you actually have figured out a system that can help people, it's really remarkable. So thank you so much, Eduardo, for sharing that and all the amazing work you're doing out there in the world as well.
Thank you as well for having me. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. My pleasure for sure. Awesome. So I'm moving on to my third speaker today, Adrienne Barker. Definitely Adrienne is so committed. She was the first one to come on to the event. And I'm so grateful that she's here. So Adrienne, looking forward to having you share some of the most meaningful moments leading you to what you do today.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Elona. So I am a role model to my own business, Professional Global Etiquette. I teach corporate etiquette. It would be weird when I come in late. And so it's something I'm always making sure that I role model that. Actually, I grew up in a family business. My parents started a very large promotional products business, logo merchandise, in 1955, and then developed a beautiful cartoon museum, 80,000 toys in Cheshire, Connecticut. They have passed, so part owner of that, and also a beautiful art galleries, the largest animation art gallery on the planet, as my dad would love to say. But growing up in the family business, I learned everything. So I'm a business consultant for the promotional products industry. And that's been really great, because a lot of people need what I know. It's knowledge that wasn't taught. It was taught to me, but it's something that I actually did every day and experienced. I'm a very forward thinker. Oh, by the way, I want to do a shout out to Mitchell Levy. Love Mitchell, amazing man, and been through his clarity. He's great. Then what happened? So in 2015, I was looking around the room and I realized that a lot of us don't know corporate etiquette. And because of it, it was making dinners and meals and networking uncomfortable for not just me, but for all of us. So I went to the number one school, the Protocol School of Washington in Washington, D.C., and earned my certification as an international protocol and corporate etiquette consultant, and love that. I've been doing training and workshops, and within that parameter, there's customer service training, emotional intelligence, all of that. I love it. I emceed an event that Mitchell was also a speaker at, and we had a lot of fun. And he caught the role during the dinner play, teaching etiquette.
I love your enthusiastic energy.
I know. I can't help it. Go ahead.
So enlighten us on corporate etiquette. What's your take on that? What can you share with us to kind of give us a little more information around what is it that we need to know as entrepreneurs or even CEOs that are watching us today?
So let me give you a couple tips. First of all, please don't send a text message without who you are. Oh, let me get my whole face in there. Without who you are and add your name. Because I can't believe how many text messages I get a day where they don't tell me who they are. And that's crazy. You need to do it. Also, the whole idea of etiquette is making life easier for other people and doing things, modeling the correct behavior. We get that. What I notice a lot of is that I'm also a LinkedIn expert, just named top 13 LinkedIn expert in Orlando, and I did not pay for it. I've been on LinkedIn for 18 years. What I notice when it comes to etiquette on LinkedIn is that people don't give their cell phone number. So how many times have you looked you want to get in touch with someone, you go to their email, and every email, one after another, doesn't have a signature and no email. It drives you crazy. Well, guess what? Put the phone number there. I refuse to work with anyone that won't give me their phone number. It doesn't make sense to me. 386-631-4577. My phone number, I put it everywhere because why? I want you to reach out to me. So just think of those two things. Etiquette also includes a proper handshake, but we've got COVID. So make sure that person wants to shake your hand. Watch where your hands are before you shake a hand. So there's a lot of different things with etiquette. Always happy to answer more questions. And actually during COVID, I did a couple of a couple of workshops because Zoom, really, you got to wear those pants when you're on Zoom. I have still watched people putting their lipstick on Zoom, make sure, do on their phone. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. So, always stay focused. One of the things that I did for myself is I just learned to stay focused. When I'm at an event, I don't sit next to someone that's a jabber who will talk a lot. I don't sit next to someone who has a big iPad out and maybe I'm kind of curious, so that'll take me away. I try to avoid the distractions. But I also want to say I'm excellent at LinkedIn. And so my LinkedIn business has blown up because I'm doing it correctly. So when you have okay, I'm not going to say my age of 61, so I don't want to let anyone know I'm 61 years old. But here's the thing. When you have some age behind you and a little experience in education, and you've worked with so many businesses, because I've been a SCORE mentor for 8 years and actually mentored businesses through SCORE at no charge. I did step down because I'm going to be a guardian ad litem. So whole different story. That'll be a different speaker. But in the meantime, my experience, I really understand business. I don't just say I know business. I know business. I know, and I have answers for a lot of people. So the big thing that we want to do right now is make sure that on LinkedIn that you have, everyone knows how to have your optimize, and I've got a free ebook. But the key is why? Why do you have to have things a certain way, and how that makes a difference? So I've been a LinkedIn expert, have a lot of clients doing LinkedIn and one last thing to share, my passion, what I really love. And it's so funny because I really, really love this. I am a podcast producer. And I am loving that. I have 4 different shows that I produce for, and it's just so fun to do this because I can give you a spot on as a guest on a podcast, and you don't pay for it. I market you, and I make sure you look good. And so, I connect too. I'm a connector too, and I also just want to add this quickly. When you're a connector, it's really important to do your research. I don't connect people unless I really know who they are. I've already talked to them. Most of the time I've used their service so I can really connect. I'm very careful with that, as I'm sure you are too, because connecting is a big responsibility and you want to do it correctly. And so that's it.
Adrienne, oh my gosh, is there anything else you don't do? You're a true definition of very enthusiastic and also multi-passion entrepreneur, I'm sure. So I really value your wisdom from all these different angles as well. So of course, I won't let you go without you giving us maybe in 1 minute some tips on how to become a LinkedIn top expert. I think most of us want to know that.
All right. So on LinkedIn, one of the things that I've noticed a lot of other, like when they do these workshops, they'll say, oh, I was on one the other day, don't have a lot of information in your tagline. Every word in LinkedIn is like SEO optimized. Google yourself. If you have a LinkedIn page, it'll come up. Google your company. If you don't have a LinkedIn page, it won't come up. And that's silly because you need one. So make sure with your headline, 220 characters, you use all of that. Take the time. Go to ChatGPT. It will help you. I call him Barry Bot. He's amazing. So have it correctly. You could always reach out. You could go to my LinkedIn. I have a free LinkedIn ebook that will help you. But the whole thing in LinkedIn is how you do the search. Where do you find your clients? So that's where clarity comes in and understanding who you're looking for. And don't do a shotgun approach. Be very targeted. So you're going to throw the arrow and you will be successful. And don't try to be too salesy. And of course, be authentic and be yourself and share stories that are the right amount of content that shows a little bit of your own vulnerability. Will someone else say that word for me, please? And authenticity.
Well, thank you so much, Adrienne. Amazing tips. And thanks so much for coming on and being here as well. And all this, you're a resourceful person for sure. Thanks so much for coming on. Great to have met you as well. Awesome. Well, my next amazing speaker is going to be Paula James. Paula, welcome. Looking forward to having you share some of the most meaningful moments in your journey and the work you're doing.
Thank you. It's so good to be here with you all. Wonderful. I feel like I'm in great company. I started out as a literature major with an interest in foreign languages and travel and music. And then it was a vehicle accident that brought me into 10 years of low back and neck pain and really shifted my focus into movement. What do we know about alignment and movement? I really set the intention during that time that I hurt of I want to map the territory and come out of this able to be useful to other people. So I've had the really good fortune to do that. So I was in an accident in 91 and I came out of pain in 2001. And since 2002, I've been teaching other people how to move better, how to work with their own body so that they can reduce pain, move more comfortably in the world, be more productive, do things they enjoy.
Wow. Paula, I love your story. And of course, this is so timely and relevant because I'm always looking for a solution to move more, especially with our lifestyles of just remote work and just sitting behind some desk or a couch or something, wherever is it that we're working from. So what can you share to help us to do exactly that, to be more intentional and moving more?
So I like to do things that you can really integrate into your day that you're already doing so that you're not thinking that you have to carve another 20 minutes out of the day. And so one that's very simple, if you just let your arms come down to your sides and rotate, if the palms of your hands face the wall behind you, I think you'll find your shoulders coming forward. And then if you sit at your computer all day from here, now you're a mess. If you rotate your hands so the palms face forward, your shoulders will come back, your head comes back over your spine. And if you just do that simple rotation of the arms before you sit down at your work desk, before you go for a walk, you can rotate so the palms come forward and then turn over from the elbows to type, and you will already be more upright. You'll also find if your palms are rotated towards the wall behind you and you're standing, that it's very difficult for you to pick up your feet. Your legs feel kind of heavy and planted on the ground. But if you just rotate the arms even enough so that the palms face your own legs, there's more uprightness in your posture, a feeling of lightness to your legs and feet, and you'll be much more inclined to go for a walk on a nice day.
I was doing that in the backstage. I was like, that's so simple with the hands, right?
So what I look for are things that are very simple that can be integrated into things that you're already doing so that you're not distracted by physical discomfort from the business things you want to be doing. And then at the end of the day, you feel good. You might go play with your dog or your child or go for a walk or just do something fun because you're not so tired that all you can do is collapse on the sofa and watch TV.
Yeah, and plus you feel so numb. Your muscles are always sleeping. This is a big pain point. Let's unite, let's collaborate to figure out what to do about this, because I really think that it's a whole epidemic, honestly. And I think we need better solutions to this. So all amazing, problem solvers out there, let's put our genius into work and be creative of what can we do to actually do pretty much what you just said, like simple things that we can implement. So it's not taking a lot of decision-making ability and also a lot of time and space from our brain to kind of, implement something new, but it's stuff that we probably already can implement with the way that we're already working. So
Right.
it's definitely the new era of work, right? So we
Yes,
also be able to.
similarly, an area that I've been coming into more and more are ways to help regulate the nervous system to calm down, because there's some stressful times that we're in, and there are some places in the world that are in a lot of trouble. And if you have family and friends in those places, if you're watching the news at all, then you can be getting your own stress hormone levels up, just being aware of what's going on around you. And so there are some simple things you can do with the breath or with hand or hip techniques that can help just really give you a reset so that you come into a more calm and centered place. And you can be doing those while you're watching a video, while you're attending a class, things that will just help you stay calmer so that that you have more options to choose what to do, and you're not as reactive.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Paula, for dropping those gems. And I know all of you are going to be able to share a lot of your amazing resources at the end. So I'm sure you probably have something that you can also give people to kind of start getting and implementing some of these amazing things. Thank you so much, Paula, for all this work that you're doing. And I honestly feel like this is an area where I don't think there's a lot of solutions that exist out there for most people, because even if you're an entrepreneur and you're working remote with another company, I'm sure it's a big pain point for a lot of us. So thanks again for sharing. And moving on to my next guest speaker, I always blame my name butchering to English not being my first language. So Arkiwi Osora, of course I butchered it. So welcome. Please tell us the correct way to pronounce your name, and welcome, and looking forward to getting to know you better.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. And it's Arkai Oswara. So you got it halfway right and everything on both the names. But yeah, really glad to be here. And I would love to, well, what would you like me to share? Because I was really impressed by Paula, and I was like, okay, so many amazing things. So always great to hear from her. But a quick intro about me. I'm a catalyst of change. So what I do is, aside from just the fancy title, is that I'm a fractional chief brand officer. I work with multiple businesses across the globe, mainly in the impact driven visionary space. So anybody who is truly trying to uplift their community of users, they generally reach out to me, and we work with them to create a brand that gravitates the right audience towards them and cultivates a long lasting relationship with them. Now, I've been running my agency for 4 years now, and I've been doing this for 9 years. And for the coming year, we're doing things a bit differently. Our agency used to always hit our goals very seamlessly, and I was like, you know what, it's great that I'm able to do this for my business, but I want to change things up. So going forward, we won't be focusing on anything related to our agency. What I've done is I've created a subscription model around my services this year, and now I get to join either different companies that are in the branding space, either companies that need a chief brand officer, or board advisors who need someone who can guide their overall brand positioning. And when I say branding, it's not just what most people think it to be in the limitations of marketing. When I say branding, I specialize in creating strong ecosystems that, when working together, helps you create an overall organism that will truly scale forward and work in a similar direction. And so now I get to work with multiple companies. At the moment, we're already working with 10, and I get to do that with a few more in the coming year, where instead of just building my own agency, now I get to build multiple businesses, help them grow, help them scale, and at the end of the day, help them impact their audiences. When I'm not running my agency, or when I'm not doing all of these consulting work, I work with Techstars and a couple of other accelerators and incubators as a mentor over there. I'm a huge dog lover and dog rescuer, a podcaster, author, and someone who's always involved in making sure whatever he does is uplifting other people and creating opportunities for others. So that's like a very brief intro of mine. But at the end of the day, I am a strategist. I'm not a tactician. I do not try to sell you tactics or tell you that this will work because it worked for someone else. I end up identifying who you are and how you can be your best self, either as an individual or as a business, and how you can truly scale and create your impact.
Wow, so much that you actually do as well. So my insightful question is around, what do you think makes you unique, or the way you even solve the problem of branding? And it sounds like you also help with scaling, in the very way that you just introduced the work that you do. So what are your thoughts on those three things?
Yeah, so I'll go like from whatever questions I remember. I do have ADHD, so sometimes I do forget the questions and everything. But what really makes me unique is that I'm only here to bring out the best in you. I'm someone who can look at your vision. So in our agency, our studio is generally called the Lighthouse Lounge, because when people come to work with us, we align with their vision and we allow them to see what else is possible. We look forward for them, we look with them, and we try to see what else they can create. So I'm not here to try to sell you, okay, this worked for this person. But more than that, I'm here to help you identify. I act as a therapist. Most of my clients go through the same initial question, which is that imagine you to be a patient, me being a therapist, and your brand being the child. And now we're going to just, truly discover what it can be. Not what it wants to be, but what it can be, who you are. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your purpose, your journey. And once you can identify that and see how you can position that properly, you can truly scale in any market. You can do things differently. And there's so many businesses that get to do that nowadays. Liquid Death, and there's so many others that do things in a different manner in a market that many thought is already saturated. And so that's what I do. I work with businesses so that they can identify what's amazing about them. Not what's amazing about me, but what's amazing about them, and how they can best put that out there for their right audience, and how they can cultivate those bonds with them. Because if they can do that, if they can build with their community, if they can build with their people, they're getting to do something that is going to solve their problems instead of trying to come up with a solution that might already exist in a saturated market.
Hmm.
Uh, yes. What for your other questions?
I think that was one of my questions, which kind of attracted me based on what you introduced yourself. But I love that you connected this all with the purpose behind the brand, right? Understanding that it's bigger than just those brand colors or websites that we usually think about when we refer to branding. So I think more education and more people that do the work that you're doing will really help you, especially on an entrepreneur scale, a brand that's going to be around for 10, 20, 30 years. And who knows what else you want to do with that, right? So connecting that back to legacy. So thank you so much for all the amazing work you're doing, and for your beautiful introduction, and for answering my question. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, awesome. Well, we have actually reached almost the end of the summit. I have my last but not least speaker for the day. It's going to be Dorothy Mashburn. Dorothy, thank you so much for coming on. Looking forward to getting to know you a little bit better as well.
Absolutely. Thank you all for the opportunity. I didn't realize what I've been missing for so long because I had to reschedule my speaking opportunity quite a few times just because I have a full-time job and I'm a mom. So I feel bad that I've been missing it, and I love all your stories. So what I do, I'm an interview and career negotiation coach, and why I do what I do, Elona, to your question is, so as I was coming up through the corporate ranks, and Adrian, I think you kind of hinted on this, there's not a lot of career navigation, corporate etiquette training. Like I went to MBA school, but none of that was in the books, all the pitfalls that you may have. On top of it, I came to the United States when I was 18 years old. I'm from a small province in the foothills of the Himalayas, and I was all alone. I was all alone here, and I felt the kind of the weight of that loneliness, and didn't have any sponsors, mentors. Had to figure out a lot of things on my own. So now what I do is based on that, background of I don't want somebody else to have to figure out this unknown, nebulous corporate navigation world on their own. And so that's one of the big why of what I do. And the other part is over the years, as I have figured out, and I've had the opportunity, to be in big negotiation deals, big boardrooms, companies like GE, Philips. So I've negotiated with some of pretty tough CEOs, and always battling imposter syndrome, always worried about, they're going to ask, I'm sitting in this boardroom chair and any minute now they're going to come and ask me to go get a coffee for these guys, So it was like always this fear, and I had to brute force suppress that fear, and just do what needed to be done. And so I'm the guide that I needed for myself 15, 20 years ago. And so negotiations, I've always appreciated the opportunities. I've done over 500 boardroom deals globally. Today, I lead a team, a large team in a global a Fortune 500 company. And what I've learned is, this is a skill. Women especially are very nervous about executing. They don't want to ask for more. They're waiting to be picked. They don't want to ask for the promotion. They're nervous, scared, anxious. Pick your word. And so I provide confidence, mindset mastery, universal skills of influence and persuasion to help people be the best they can be in their
Wow,
careers.
what way to I say always lead or choose the work that you do in authenticity, because you really pretty much are the solution of a problem that you encountered that you probably didn't find a solution for many years ago. So we definitely have so much in common also from our journey. But my question for you, Dorothy, especially with your vast experience in negotiation skills, is if you can share maybe a few tips or a certain framework that you maybe just keep repeating with a lot of your clients over negotiation that would help a lot of our audience of entrepreneurs. And I mean, we're always looking to build those high level relationships, right? With maybe even people that have a bigger influence. They have teams, they have clients, they have bigger communities, bigger audiences, back to what we talked about today. So what are some of those, that framework or some of those tips that you can share with us that you feel our audience will benefit from as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I call my framework the Resolute framework. And one of the things that I talk about is putting a value to the services that you provide shouldn't give you any sort of hesitation. So when you quote a price a lot of the times I've seen entrepreneurs recently, they worry about putting out a price out there because they themselves have imposter syndrome, or they're nervous about how it's going to be perceived, and they tend to discount themselves. So my advice to you would be, if it's a $100,000 program, and I'm making this up, stick with 100,000. Do not discount. When you discount, it indicates to the other person that the value that you're proclaiming is slightly under what you're saying, and then that gets their minds thinking about, oh, I can get this person for $50,000. It's like, no, maybe the person who's going to pay 50,000 is not your person, and that's okay. And I know we all have bills to pay, but being very persistent and having conviction and the number that you give is a huge success factor. If you believe it, they'll believe it. So that's one. And does that resonate? Does that help people? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. Yeah, that is powerful, because when we lead with that fear, you can even see that in our energy. And I love that you shared that.
Yes.
You must believe in your, I hate that word, worth. Like
your worth, your value.
But it's the value of the proposition. Like that really helped me once I got the detachment factor between my own value as a human and what I could offer as the value for that proposition or for that win-win. Then you get to see it so much clearly, and you're like, heck no, I give a lot of value for what I'm offering, right? So really help detach a lot of your own personal stuff or imposter stuff that shows up with, especially when it's perceived to be a high value person on the other side, for sure.
Exactly. I had a teacher, I had a client, really quickly, a client who's a teacher who came to me saying, I'm just a teacher. And, it was like, if you have that mindset of, I'm small, I'm scrunched in, I'm just a teacher, then the other person sitting next to you is going to just treat you like a $40,000 candidate, right? But if you go in saying, I manage a classroom, I handle difficult parents, I am organized, I'm capable, I'm a planner, I can manage projects, and you owe me 120,000 for the work that I'm going to bring you, then that person is going to be believed, So, this teacher, we worked on her, and she got to like a $97,000 pay increase, whereas she was thinking about, I'm making 40,000, so I'll take like anything. It's around 47 to 50,000. So there's a huge difference that you can realize when you say things confidently. And then the other tip I'll give you is, when somebody selects you for a RFQ or like they've bid out whatever they're trying to do with different coaches, at the interview, when you're talking to your potential client, ask, what about my profile got you to give me a call? So let them, and then no more talking. Just let them speak. And so what happens is whatever you're thinking of, right there, tends to magnify in your brains. So if you're thinking about all the good things about you that caused this person to give you a call, that those good things about you gets magnified in their brain. And so then they're disproportionately more likely to award you the business because they already know the good things about you, and now it's magnified in their brains.
Wow. Well, great value adds. Thank you so much, Dorothy, for all the amazing work. And yeah, I'm so glad that you actually scheduled and made a time that was suitable for you to come and actually share this amazing work that you're doing out there in the world as well. So I want to actually thank all my amazing speakers. We've actually reached almost the end of the event. And with this final message that I would like to go back to all our amazing speakers to, I would love for them to kind of share their purpose in business. So maybe just fill in the blanks. My purpose in business is, and also if you could share where is it the audience can continue the conversation with you, or if you have any free resources that you like to share with us. So I'll go back to Kara.
Thank you. Yeah. So I would say that between, finding your USP, but it's being authentic and actually just being who you are, being clear in who you are, having clarity in what you offer. We're not always clear about that. So, and you can reach me at, my website's pursueandthrive.com. You can email me, karajames@pursueandthrive.com. And then my Facebook group that you may be interested in is the Coaches, Consultants, and Service Providers Success Community. So,
all right.
Love you all. Thank you. Thanks so much, Elona.
Thank you so much, Kara. And all the links will also be shared right underneath where you will be watching this video. So for easy access to follow along and to be able to grab all these amazing resources and definitely connect. One of the values of our community also, or mine personally, is to ensure that we're nurturing relationships and really putting in the time to invest in that. So I also encourage you to connect with all our speakers and the speakers amongst one another as well. So hope that this event will be the catalyst to be able to do that as well. Thank you so much, Kara, and looking forward to hearing from Eduardo next. My purpose is?
Yes, my purpose is to help people operate from their want and not their need. They can move and get money out of the way so they can get through the stages of life from survival to security to stability to success to significance, so they can actually focus on what truly matters and what truly transcends in this world. Yes.
Okay. That is definitely a deep purpose for sure. And Eduardo, where is it that the audience can continue the conversation with you?
I'd be happy to have anyone go to eduardobeltran.com. That's my website. I have plenty of stuff related to the languages and the traveling, speaking, and also the recurring revenue type of business model for people who are interested in getting help for that.
All right, beautiful. Adrienne?
Oh, this has been so lovely. So my purpose in business is wanting to help my clients, yada, yada, yada. I will say at this time of year, I love to thank my clients because what they've given me is the ability to donate my time. And so the purpose, I love being in business, but there's a big part of me that always has to have a passion project. And it's only because of my clients that I can have this passion project. As I mentioned, I was with SCORE for 8 years. I'm kind of flipping switch right now and becoming a guardian ad litem, which is an amazing experience. It's something I've always dreamed of being able to do. And I'm at the point now where I can. I think it's important that we all have a spirit of caring and a spirit of giving. But I always want to thank everyone that's helped me so I can help others, and helping children is huge for me. So I'm very excited about that. I have 2 websites, my name, adrianbarker.com, which, by the way, you all should try to get your name, your URL. Just try to get it, at least if you don't have it. And then Professional Global Etiquette. A lot of people don't know how to spell etiquette, so make sure you're looking in the dictionary, ETIQUETTE. And then my cell phone, 386-631-4577. And guess what? It's really weird, but I actually answer the phone. So try me at 2 a.m. in the morning. I'll answer, but I'll be scared too. All right. So thank you so much for having me, and always available to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Paula.
I help people be more comfortable and capable of living the life that they want to lead. Less struggle and more flow. You can find me on LinkedIn, Paula Flows, and you can get a free gift, a series of 2-minute videos to help you reset your nervous system at learn.paulaflows.com/calm.
All right. Thank you so much, Paula. And let's try again. Archive.
Yeah, you got it right. So yes. So my purpose, not just with my business, but with everything I do, is to create opportunities for others to be able to be their best self without having to fear or be scared of expressing their authentic, just clarity and everything they want to stand for. So that's what I do with everything I do. And the best way to get in touch with me and any of the free stuff I do is on LinkedIn. But aside from that, there's no freebies that I generally offer. But LinkedIn, where I create all the content and put everything out there, that's as free as it can be. But I'd love to connect with you all and share as many insights as I can.
All right. Beautiful. Eduardo.
You want me to go again?
Oh, you actually did go. I was almost like I do want to skip somebody because my screen switched here. So yes, thank you so much for saying what you did. Then I guess just Dorothy's left then, right?
Yeah, just me. So DorothyMashburn.com is my website. So please find me. There are a lot of freebies. My free gift is DorothyMashburn.com/fight for your worth. There's a lot of value in it. I know people don't want to get trained, but it's 20 minutes. I've not gate kept anything. So please check it out on how to secure additional compensation at a job offer. That's what that is. You can also find me on LinkedIn, and I'm very active in LinkedIn. So please follow my content.
All righty. Well, thank you so much all to our amazing speakers. We've reached the end of this event. I hope this has been educational, inspirational, and entertaining for sure. So hopefully that we added value to you today. And thank you so much for watching. And I would also love to invite you to become our community experts. I'm going to play a video right after the event so you can hear more information around that. Thank you again for joining us, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in another event. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
I would invite you to join us as the community expert at the Life School Global Community. As a community expert, you will be participating in our monthly speaking events that we host for our community. You'll be an ongoing contributor to our global magazine. You will be warmly connected and introduced to other purpose-driven CEOs and entrepreneurs. You'll also be connected to amazing speaking opportunities, paid and also free speaking opportunities with other amazing communities. And this way, you'll increase your brand and visibility. You will build trust faster. But most importantly, you'll be part of our community that's always growing in over 30,000 entrepreneurs on our social media channels and also on our large contact list and network, and also with our partnering high-level communities of entrepreneurs and business leaders. I would like you to go right underneath the website on this video at Elona Lopari Coaching/events to find out more information on what this offer entails, and also if this is the right fit for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side as our community member.